Hello and welcome to another episode of Those Two IM Guys. I'm James Kennedy. I'm here with my co-host Tony Earp, and we'll really have an exciting session for you today. We're talking about video hosting options. Tony, take it away.
James, how are you today, my friend? You okay?
Buddy, I'm good.
Yeah, great to be here as always. Yeah, when you said that we're discussing video hosting, you said that with so much enthusiasm. I know it's not a sexy subject, but it's
not a sexy subject. No, of course not.
It's not a sexy subject, but it's a very, very important subject if you're planning to start or have already started any sort of business online. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you've made the mistakes that I've made with video hosting.
Yeah, we were just having a little chat before we went live, James, weren't we? And I think you've learned a couple of things already.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mention that brand right now.
No, because we're gonna cover some top tips towards the end of this episode. So
yeah, we can prime it up for that later.
Yeah, and as usual, I'll just remind the guys, all the resources we discuss in this episode, I'll put in a post on our website, those2imguys.com, in the recommended resources section. Yeah.
Awesome.
So you don't have to worry about grabbing a pen and paper or anything like that.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah. So just to start, James, what sort of video hosting have you used? What's your experience with video hosting?
Well, before Vimeo, I used Amazon.
Whoops.
Yeah, and it cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, I'll explain a bit later why that is a whoops, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the
and
episode.
then before those, I used YouTube, which then I realised as well was not a good idea because obviously YouTube can put anything they bloody like on my videos, so I don't have control of that either. So that was the progression: YouTube to Amazon to Vimeo.
Yeah. The good news is, James, is that don't get me wrong. I mean, we all know how big YouTube is. You know, second biggest search engine on the planet. And there's, that just shows you the popularity of video and why video hosting is so important. Yeah. And I think it's fair to say that's the number one go-to for most people when they want to host their videos. Because
it's free.
Yeah, exactly. But as we both know, and as our viewers and listeners will be learning throughout our episodes each week, free isn't always best, James.
No, definitely not.
Free a lot of the time can be to your detriment in the long run for your business. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Take YouTube as an example, and don't get me wrong, I'm a massive fan of YouTube. I think it's an amazing platform. But when you're embedding YouTube videos on your website or web pages, for example, you're going to get leakage. And the reason you're going to get leakage is because it always shows unless you're using some sort of fancy coding or fancy video player, which is going to cost you more money to remove the YouTube logo and everything, you're going to get leakage from your offer back to YouTube. Simple as that.
Yep. And
if you're using something like paid advertising, James, that can cost you a pretty penny. Yeah.
Yeah. And guys, so you know what Tony means when he's saying leakage, he's talking about like if after somebody's watched your video and 3 or 4 different other things pop up on the screen, they click it, they're away from your website again.
Well, it's not even that, James. If you hover over a YouTube video that's embedded on a web page, it'll come up, what's live on YouTube. Mm-hmm. If they click that, guess where it takes them?
YouTube.
It takes them to YouTube. It's taking them away from your site, away from your offer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's just one example of why, sometimes free isn't the best option. That does not mean I'm not a fan of YouTube, James. I'm a massive fan.
Oh, no. Yeah, I use it all the time. But I use it for the right things.
Okay, so we're going to do it again, James. A question I get asked a lot is, why should I use video hosting?
Tony, why should you use video hosting?
Well, you know something? It's funny you asked that question, James. To our viewers and listeners, guys, if you're getting bored with this, we do apologise, but it's just
it wakes us up in the morning, guys.
It wakes us up. It's a little bit of fun in our day. Okay, so yeah, why should you use video hosting? Okay, look at it this way: even if you've got a dedicated server, James, or a virtual machine, yeah, video, if you upload it to your hosting or your server, it can put a significant load on it, can't it? Even if you're only getting a small amount of traffic, yeah.
Definitely.
As an example, a regular web page with images would typically be less than a couple of megabytes, while a single 720 video generally is over 100 megabytes.
which is a gig.
Yeah. Were you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's fair to say if you load just one average video up to your hosting or your dedicated server, your virtual machine, whatever hosting type you've got, it's going to use a lot of extra resources unnecessarily. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that example, just 10 visitors who watch 1 minute of that HD video require 1 gigabyte of server bandwidth, James. Have you got that light bulb moment?
Yeah. And that's just 10 people.
That's just 10 people. Yeah.
Yeah. So your unlimited package just going to help there, is it?
Go to the extreme, you get 1,000 visitors or more to a text or image-based page for the same bandwidth. Yeah. You see what I mean? If you equate that.
Yeah.
So you can get about 1,000 visitors who are looking at your text or images
to 10
who are watching a video.
Big difference.
Well, that shows you the difference in bandwidth. And, if you're on a hosting plan with restricted bandwidth, that can be a major problem. You could use your bandwidth allowance up within 24, 48 hours very easily, just with one video.
Easily.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's frightening, really.
And for all you guys out there who are going, oh, well, I've got an unlimited hosting package. Guess what? You've got a fair use policy, guys. And me and James can tell you categorically, if your hosting company think that you're abusing that policy, what will they do, James?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Shut you down.
Close your account down without any hesitation, yeah? Because you've got to remember, if you're on something like shared hosting, you're sharing that server with probably hundreds or even thousands of other businesses. So the way that your hosting company will look at it is that you're being unfair to them by breaking that policy, yeah?
Definitely.
I think that's fair to say, James, yeah?
Oh, for sure.
So just bear that in mind, guys, if you're thinking of uploading video to your hosting and streaming it that way. Do not do it. And I've got some top tips towards the end of this episode that I'll be sharing with you of things to avoid when hosting your videos, yeah? So that's why basically it's usually better to use third-party video platforms, James, because it allows you to host your videos externally from your web pages and your website, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that what you do yourself?
Yeah, as I say, I use Vimeo now. I use Vimeo
and
just embed those links into, obviously, my websites.
And another significant thing to remember, guys, with video hosting is that you really need to do your educate yourself about what's allowed on each platform, because the type of content you're posting is relevant to whether the platform are going to like that content or not. As we know, James, there's a lot of video hosting platforms don't like affiliate marketing videos, for example.
Yeah, there's a lot of scammers in our business, and obviously it does get a bad name. So sadly, if you fly with the crows, you get shot with the crows. And ultimately, a lot of video hosting companies do not like the kind of products that we do.
Yeah, and I know affiliate marketers, seasoned, successful affiliate marketers, James, who have had their YouTube channels closed, their Vimeo accounts closed down, purely because the platforms do not like the content that they're posting. So again, guys, do your due diligence, as we always say. Educate yourself about the platform you're thinking of hosting your videos on, because you've got to have a long-term strategy, James, don't you?
Definitely.
For example, if you're doing training courses and you're uploading hundreds of videos over a number of years to a video hosting platform, you need to know that they're secure for the long term, because if they get taken down overnight, how much aggravation is that going to cause you?
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah. I mean, with things like that in the past, I mean, I've had access to, like, for example, I use Dropbox for storage online, my cloud storage. But there's lots of things that pop up into Warrior Plus and things like that, unlimited storage, unlimited blah, blah, blah. And I've bought one or two just to try, but I would never make it my main source, because ultimately, if, like we spoke about, software as a service, if it's not subscription based, the money runs out eventually, and then you're snookered,
Yeah. So you're using Dropbox purely to just store your files, are you? For
yeah, pretty much.
Did you know there's a way to actually stream video from Dropbox?
I've been told about it, but never used it.
There is a way to do it, and there's plugins out there and tutorials that guys just Google it, stream video from Dropbox, and you'll find a number of tutorials, free plugins, paid plugins. I've got a paid plugin to do it, to be honest with you. I don't use it for that, but I have got a paid plugin that allows you to stream from Dropbox, even on a free Dropbox account, James.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so if you're a heavy user, it's going to be no good for you. But if you're a more light user with video, then it'd be appropriate for you. So awesome. Just I was going to do top tips at the end, but there's one already for you. One golden nugget in this episode. Yeah,
love a golden nugget.
Yeah, use Dropbox for streaming your video even on a free account. Okay, so let's talk about some of the best video hosting platforms, James. What are the ones you're familiar with, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, obviously Vimeo is the kind of, but there's lots. I mean, there's loads out there, Tony. But Vimeo is the one that kind of, Vimeo and Amazon S3 are the ones that I'm really aware of.
Yeah, a lot of the ones I'm going to mention, they're going to cross over during this episode, James, because they have free and paid options. Yeah.
Okay.
As most things do online, you have a free level and you've got, pro level paid options. Yeah. But some of the best video hosting platforms out there. You might have heard of this one before, James. Hubspot.
No, it had a hosting option on it as well.
Yes, they do. But it comes at a cost because you need to have a certain level of plan with them to use their video hosting. Okay. And I think that starts, wait for it, at $360 a month.
Wow.
Obviously, you're getting access to all their suite of tools, not just the video hosting. But again, that's a serious chunk of change. If you're just
you need to be churning over some kind of serious money there if you're doing that.
We're fans of HubSpot, great platform guys, and I've no doubt, they've got all the bells and whistles with their video hosting. I've never used it myself, but I know they've got that available. But again, it comes at a cost. So you've got to be able to justify that spend, James, at the end of the day, haven't you?
Not for the faint of heart, that one.
No. And the next one, the Big Daddy, YouTube.
Yeah.
Again, we all know them being, a great free resource for hosting videos for educational purposes. But they do have paid options as well, James, as you know.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question now.
Sure.
If I have a paid option, does that mean people can't advertise on my video?
Yes and no. And I'll explain what I mean by that. You'll get premium advertisements still on your videos. Not standard videos, you'll get premium ones, but they'll be less frequent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically the significant difference between.
So as a premium subscriber, would I then make any profit from those videos that are on my videos?
You would do, yeah.
Right. So, but can I opt out of that completely, or will they?
Honest answer, I don't know if you can opt out or not. All I know is, I'm assuming there will be some sort. Again, privacy applies here, James, doesn't it? And you're going to have a lot more options available in your YouTube settings being a pro user or a free user. So I'll be amazed if they don't have an option for you to switch monetization off. Because you can switch monetization off in free levels. So
free levels as well.
Why wouldn't you be able to do that in pro level? It doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
But again, if you do leave it switched on and you want to earn ad revenue, then you will still get ads, but they're less frequent and they're premium ads. I'm not quite sure what the difference is between premium ads and standard ads, but there is a significant difference apparently. Another platform, again, we're both fans of, you've already mentioned it, Vimeo. Yeah.
Great platform.
Vimeo have a free level and they have a pro level. You use Vimeo yourself, James?
Yeah, I use the pro level. I think it costs me about $240 a year or something like that. It's not a lot of money.
Yeah, it's for what you get as a service from Vimeo, it's an insignificant amount of money. I totally agree. Because it's got all the bells and whistles you need.
For sure.
For everything you want to do with video, really. But yeah, I'm the same as you. I use Vimeo Pro as well as one. I'll note what I said, guys, as one of my platforms of choice. Yeah. Another one which is rarely spoke about but is super popular, James, Dailymotion.
Is that actually a host? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, Dailymotion. A lot of people think Dailymotion is like a social media site, like Twitter, like Facebook, etc. And to a certain degree it is, but they also are a video hosting platform. And again, they've got free account levels, they've got paid account levels, but very, very popular. You know, if you look up Dailymotion, guys, on Google, do a search, you will see how popular it is. It's certainly always in the top 10 of recommended video hosting platforms for sure. Another one, James, I'm sure you'll be aware of this one, Wistia. It's one
Wistia,
of the big,
yes, that was the one in my head I couldn't think of there.
It's one of the big players out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And again, you know, liked by a lot of, you know, a lot of video marketers, internet marketers, even affiliate marketers. They love Wistia again because it's got a lot of functionality in the player, James. You know, the embeddable player.
And are they quite happy with affiliate marketers on board? Are they more?
I wouldn't know. I've never used it, but I do know affiliate marketers that do use it, and I've never seen them say they've had their accounts banned or anything like that. So maybe that tells its own story. But to be honest, James, I don't think you can never say never.
No, exactly.
Because we all get it all the time, don't we? Update to our policy this, update to our policy that. And do we really read those updates to these policies? Do we?
Most people don't. No,
of course we don't. Yeah, we haven't got hours in the day to be doing it. So it's never ending. You'd never be able to keep up with it, James, would you?
No, definitely not.
But yeah, I would say always err on the side of caution. Whichever video hosting platform you use, always have your videos backed up on an external storage platform like Dropbox, like Mediafire, even Amazon S3. I'm not talking about streaming video on Amazon S3, guys. I'm talking about using their storage. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But always have a backup of all your videos so that if the worst scenario happens and you get your account banned and you can't access your content, you've got that backup to then, you know, you've got that backup at your disposal to go and upload elsewhere. Yeah,
absolutely. And something I'd like to add in here, guys. If you're the kind of person that gets into a system and a routine and you don't like change, online business is not the place for you, because everything is constantly fluid. It's moving and adapting all the time. So if you've not got backup content for what you're doing, you could lose it. You need to be triple cautious. I mean, not just a backup, but you need a backup for the backup. You know, it's that kind of business, unfortunately. And if you're not really kind of into that, then there's a great book, Who Moved My Cheese? Google that, and it'll really kind of get you thinking where nothing actually nothing plateaus. Everything's always going up and down and moving, and you need to realize that in this kind of world, especially because it's moving a lot faster than anywhere else.
It's a fast-moving industry, James. It's constant change, as you said, and you've got to be able to adapt, guys. It's as simple as that. But yeah, what James just touched on there, don't just back up your videos, guys. Back up everything, no matter what type of business you're running online or planning to start online, whether it's images, videos, websites, funnels, whatever. Back everything up. Simple as that.
I could build a new bed with the hard drives I've got.
Yeah, I mean, I use Mediafire, James. I think, a terabyte, which is 100 gig of storage, is something like $49 a year.
Yeah, I've got a 10 terabyte external hard drive here as well. Yeah. So again, clouds as well, external hard drives. You know, because you can never be sure where things are going.
No, back everything up, guys. That's the best advice me and James can give you. That's a serious golden nugget for today, because otherwise, at some point in the future, you will regret it. Trust us saying this to you. Yeah. So back everything up, yeah. Moving on with some of the best video hosting platforms. Another one, James. Did we say Sprout Video?
No, you did now, though.
We've got to Wistia, didn't we? Sprout Video. That's another one. Again, always in the top 10 of everybody's video hosting platforms out there. One that a lot of people are not familiar with, but it's very, very popular. So go and check that out as one of your options, guys. Another one. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hippo Video.
Is that just for big videos?
It's for big videos, massive videos, yeah. about wildlife only. Again, another one that always appears in the top 10, guys. Very, very popular, even though it's not widely spoken about. So another one for you to check out. Another one that I'm hearing more and more about recently, Vidyard.
Vidyard.
Vidyard, Vidyard, Vidyard. It's one I'm hearing more and more about more frequently recently, James.
Is it a brother or sister of StreamYard? Is it a...
I don't honestly know, right, but I know that it's being spoken about more and more often, which is an indication, a good indication that they're obviously getting more subscribers and more users on the platform. Another one you will have heard of, Bright Cove.
No, I haven't.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm surprised at that, because that's, again, another popular one, always in most people's top 10 video hosting platforms. And a lot of people like that. Not one I've used, not one I'm overly familiar with, but I do see that name about a lot all the time when I'm doing research.
Yeah, not one I've came across personally.
Yeah. And last but not least, and guys, these ones we've mentioned are just the tip of the iceberg. These are some of the most popular ones. But you Google video hosting platforms, as with anything online, you'll be inundated, you'll find hundreds. But again, a lot of these ones we mentioned are in constantly in the top 10s of people's top 10 lists. And there's reasons for that, yeah. And last but not least is Sincopa. Not heard of that?
No.
I'm familiar with it, James, and it's a very popular one. And again, all those ones we've mentioned, guys, they have free and paid options, the majority of them. You'll need to check out each one individually to see what the difference is for free and the upgrade level. But usually it's significant, James, isn't it, what you get?
Oh yeah, I mean, when you come away from the bigger ones, sometimes the less known ones tend to give you much more value for money. But as I say, I've kind of stuck to Vimeo because age, reliability, what you get for the money, I think's really, really fair. So
yeah, and I think that's a lot of reasons why, a lot of valid reasons why people use Vimeo, James, because it's a trusted brand. They've been around forever. They're constantly improving the platform, and they're reliable. And
no doubt, I've had no problems with
it. The cost is negligible compared to some other video hosting platforms. Yeah,
I think
so. Let's specifically look now at some premium video hosting, James. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you may not even be aware of this, but WordPress has its own premium video hosting service.
Heard something of it, but I wasn't aware of it in a great level.
It's part of Jetpack, and it's called VideoPress. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You need to go and if you use WordPress, guys, it's definitely a viable option, because I think it's fair to say we can trust WordPress. Yeah.
WordPress ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
No. I think it's fair that, for the future, they're going to be there. They're going to be scalable. Yeah.
As solid as Barron's Bank. Yeah.
And Jetpack has been part pretty much of the core WordPress from day one. So it's tried, tested, trusted, and VideoPress, which is their video hosting, is now part of that. Go and check it out, guys. See how it compares to other solutions. Yeah. We've already spoke about Wistia. We've already established they do have a premium video hosting option. Yeah. Another one, again, spoken about all the time. I see it everywhere when I'm looking at, when I'm researching video hosting, James, or video topics. This is one I see all the time. Spotlighter, which is formerly VooPlayer.
Heard the VooPlayer.
Yeah.
Hadn't noticed Spotlighter.
VooPlayer is now Spotlighter.
Right. Okay.
And, for premium video hosting, seems to be very, very popular indeed. Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely one to check out, along with Wistia and WordPress video hosting. Another one we've mentioned already, Bright Cove. They've got premium hosting solution as well, as do Sprout Video. One we've not discussed already, and that's because they don't have a free level, it's only premium, is Uscreen.
Okay.
You familiar with that one?
The name rings a bell, but I'm not overly familiar.
I don't think a lot of people would be familiar with that, James. I'm not overly familiar with it, but I'm aware of it. And it's certainly one for premium video hosting. I'll emphasize, guys, it really depends on what sort of content you're going to be, developing, what or creating rather. So check their policies out, make sure what's acceptable. But Uscreen seems to be very, very popular indeed from the research I've done. Now, one that a lot of people are not aware of, but I'm a big fan of it. I use it in my video marketing strategy, because I don't just use Vimeo, I don't just use YouTube. I've got, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, James. But one that's very, very popular is Vidello.
Vidello is a good tool. And
the reason it's popular is it's made by marketers for marketers, James.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you're an affiliate marketer, they love it. It's acceptable. Vidello. And the pricing is very competitive, guys. I got in on the launch, so I got on the early bird. It is subscription. That's why it's in the premium video hosting category that we're discussing right now. But compared to a lot of other services, it's nowhere near as expensive, James.
I was just trying to work out if I bought it at the time.
Knowing you probably did.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking there.
It's probably gathering digital dust somewhere, yeah. But Vidello is definitely, if you're doing any sort of, out and out marketing online, guys, you're doing affiliate marketing or whatever, Vidello is definitely an option for you, a viable option for you, because as I said, it's built by marketers. The people that own this platform are online marketers themselves, James, or affiliates themselves. So it's been built by marketers for marketers. Yeah. So, and that's another service that I personally use in my business.
Incidentally, I never bought it. I bought Create by Vidello. I knew it rung a bell.
Yeah, same business, same company, same owners, but obviously just a different one of their products. Yeah. So let's move on to free video hosting options. A lot of us are going to be familiar with most of these anyway, but we could not include them in this episode, James, could we? So free video hosting options, some of those are, what do you think the top one is, James?
YouTube.
One we all love, we're all familiar with, and we all know what an amazing platform it is. Another one we've already mentioned, Dailymotion. One we both use and love dearly, Vimeo.
Yeah.
If you are more into becoming an influencer, or growing your reach organically via social media, then Facebook.
Yeah.
Get Facebook to host all your videos. I mean, if you want to embed your Facebook video, the videos you upload to Facebook on a web page or anything, their player is very limited, James. But if that's not your priority, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, exactly.
So if your main aim is to grow your audience organically from within social media, then Facebook, Twitter, all the other social, Instagram, all the other social media platforms are viable options for you for your video hosting. Why wouldn't they be? And what are they, James? They are free. And the other one we've mentioned as well, and they do have a free level, obviously, Spotlighter, which is formerly VooPlayer. Yes. So even if you want a free level, guys, they're definitely one worth checking out. And guys, there's loads of other free video hosting platforms out there. I would honestly say to you, though, be very careful where you decide to host your videos. Yeah. Use a reputable resource is my recommendation. I'm sure it's the same from you, James. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Ultimately, I mean, and if something's going to go down, I mean, it ain't going to be YouTube. Let's be honest. It's well backed. If you're going to be using these big players, ain't going anywhere. Yeah. And if you're going to go free, then I would say definitely jump in with the big ones.
Yeah, and utilize free forums out there, guys. Quora, is that how you pronounce it? Quora.
Quora, yeah.
Yeah, Quora is great for asking questions, guys. If you just put in Google Quora and video hosting, you'll be amazed at all the questions and answers you'll get thrown up.
Yeah. And a good thing to think about as well, Tony, is you might want to be putting those videos up there, but there's nothing to stop you putting the same video on several free platforms.
Of course not. No.
No.
Again, the solution you choose for your business, or the solutions you choose for your business regarding video hosting for your business, they've got to be appropriate for your needs, James, haven't they?
Definitely.
And if that means that you're going to have to, dig deep in your pockets and pay for a paid option, then so be it. It's like a mechanic. They've got to have the right tools to do the job, James, haven't they?
Exactly.
It's exactly the same with what we're talking about here. Video hosting is one of the tools of what we do.
Yeah, and one of the nice things about the big players like your Vimeos and things like that, they have a free option to get you started. And once you start earning, then you can upgrade. And that's something to kind of think about as well. But don't think free is always best, as Tony already kind of pointed out. Free is not the best option always. You've got to work what's right for you. And if you need to pay for that service, then you need to make sure that you're making the money to pay for it, because it's a part of your business. It's a daily running expense.
The solutions you choose have got to be the correct fit for you. They've got to be fit for purpose. So remember that, guys. Yeah, don't cut corners, especially on something like video hosting, because trust me, it could end up costing you a lot of money. And I'm not talking $10, $20 here. I'm talking thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
If you don't host your videos the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. As I say, S3 really cost me.
James, onto a few top tips.
Go for it.
Top tip number 1, guys, avoid buying LTD offers, video hosting offers. Yeah. Why would I say that, James?
Because LTD, again, a lifetime deal. If once the lifetime deal expires, and if they don't go into subscription, the money will run dry and that platform will close down. It's inevitable, guys. Okay. One-time options. The amount of one-time deals I've bought over the time that are no longer here, I would have been better paying for subscription on those types of products because I had to buy them time and time again. Yeah,
there's some lifetime deals, James. And guys, we did an entire episode on lifetime deals. So if you want to know more about that, go and check out that episode. Yeah, but some lifetime deals, or a lot of lifetime deals, you can take a chance on, James. Yeah,
yeah.
But when it comes to things like web hosting and video hosting, don't do it.
No.
Don't do it. They're two of the foundations of your business.
Yeah.
So don't.
I wouldn't do it with an autoresponder either.
Or autoresponder. Again, another foundation of your business, James. Web hosting, video hosting, autoresponders. Anything that is a critical part of your business, don't cut corners on with LTD offers, guys. In this instance, we're talking specifically about video hosting offers. Do not buy, under any circumstances, LTD video hosting offers. Can you imagine, James, you buy an LTD offer today and you think it's amazing. Oh, I'm going to get my lifetime deal. I'm going to get all my videos hosted for free forever. I can use them as much as I want, anywhere I want, unlimited use. And a year down the line, you start getting contacted from your customers going, videos are not working.
Where's my course? It's not online anymore.
It's not working.
Guys, especially video, LTDs on video, because there is so much content there, much data storage that's required for rendering, etc., etc. It's a really expensive thing to run. So email ones, autoresponders, websites, they're more likely to last longer than video because it's going to cost a lot of money to maintain that.
As a business, as a video hosting business, the resources required, James, to run that business,
massive.
The costs are massive. And if you've not got subscription income coming in, how are you going to sustain that long term? It's impossible. So guys, again, if you want to know more about lifetime deals, LTDs, go and check out that episode in its entirety. But in this instance, avoid buying LTD video hosting offers at all costs.
Like the plague.
You will get bitten on the bum in the long run, yeah?
Yeah. There won't just be a nibble.
Number 2, never, under any circumstances, upload your videos to your hosting, as we've already established, yeah? Because,
and we're talking about your web hosting, guys.
Yeah, especially if you've got shared hosting, guys, you're going to get your account banned. I think that we'll leave it there, James, shall we? You're going to get your account banned. So
nothing needs to be said more than that.
Yeah, don't do it, guys. Never upload your videos to your hosting directly. And it's very, I see people do it all the time, James, especially when they're using WordPress. Because in WordPress Media Manager, you know, you can upload photos.
Yeah.
You can upload any media. You can upload video as well. And
it's a lazy option. It's an easy option, so people
an easy,
go for
lazy option. But a lot of people don't even realize that it's their hosting, their web hosting, that's going to actually be serving that when people view it.
Yeah.
And you'll just burn through your bandwidth, guys. You're going to, you know, break your fair usage policies. You're going to get your account banned. So do not do it. Okay?
Even a lot of my images, Tony, I now use like Image Shack to host my images on my website as well, to make my site load faster, which is a great tip as well for people to kind of think about, you know.
Yeah, another tip with images, James, as well, we won't get off the subject of video, but very quickly on images, is make sure you compress your images, guys.
Yeah.
And some great free plugins to do that if you're using WordPress.
We did cover that in...
Yeah, WP Smush, great free. They do free and paid levels. I've only ever used the free version. And it works perfectly. So you can compress all your images that are currently on your site, and any new ones you upload in the future, James, are automatically compressed. Mm-hmm. No brainer. WP Smush checking out for images, yeah. But keeping on the subject of video hosting, top tip number 3: never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, use Amazon S3 to stream your videos, guys. I know people that have done this, and they have ended up very quickly with bills of thousands and thousands of dollars for hosting their videos that way. So do not, under any circumstances, use Amazon S3 to stream your videos. And a lot of the video players you buy, the plugins, or even the cloud-based options, James, they have an option to use Amazon S3 as an external hosting provider, don't they? Don't use them, guys. I think you've heard some horror stories about that as well, James.
I can't remember exactly, but I've got a feeling that I done about $700 or $800.
Wow.
With it, and again, I've heard horror stories, thousands and thousands of dollars. So
yeah, I know somebody that hosted a couple of training courses that way. I think it was maybe 40 videos in total. They launched the course. Within 2 days, they had a bill for $2,000. I think they only made less than $4,000 on the entire launch.
It was a quick fix, that one, wasn't it?
Let's just say they learned their lesson and they never did it again, as far as I know.
Yeah, I bet they didn't.
But, you know, FD price to pay, I think it's fair to say, James.
Sure.
Now, really what you need, guys, you need a smart approach. And that's basically combining different platforms in your long-term video hosting strategy. So, for example, with myself, I use YouTube, I use Vimeo Pro, and I use Vidello. That's the 3 I use.
How much is Vidello now, Tony? Do you know? Is it a subscription?
It's only subscription, yeah. But compared to a lot of other subscriptions, it's very affordable, James.
Good to know.
I think I got in when it was something really low, like $29 a month, unlimited.
Wow.
So obviously I've kept that going. But that's the 3 platforms I personally use and recommend that I use in my business. So YouTube, Vimeo Pro, which is subscription, and Vidello. And I've never needed to use anything else outside of those 3. What is it? Just Vimeo you use, James, and YouTube?
Just Vimeo and YouTube I use. You know, as I say, things that I really kind of throw away stuff. I put on YouTube. Again, I do some unlisted stuff on YouTube as well, but mostly everything's on Vimeo now. And again, I'm limited to how much content I can put on a month. You know, there's so many. I think you're limited to so many gigabyte on the account, which suits me fine. I don't really need much more than what it's asking for.
Yeah, I love Vimeo, and the thing is with Vimeo is you can scale it as your business grows, can't you?
Yeah, you can, exactly.
So you don't need to be paying for a load of resources that you're not going to use right now.
Yeah.
They've got quite a few different levels that you can upgrade to as you scale your business, yeah. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that, you know, a smart approach is definitely combining different platforms, different video hosting platforms in your strategy long term, James, isn't it?
Definitely.
So, you know, as an example, you could have a pardon me, I'll get a little drink of water. So for example, you could have a paid solution to host your videos. So that gives you full control over them, yeah? Whilst at the same time take advantage of free video sharing platforms, you know, like YouTube, Facebook as an example, Instagram, as a way to grow your reach organically as well. So that way you've got a better strategy because you're using both free and paid, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, guys, for this episode. Of any thoughts you want to add, James?
Not really, Tony. I think obviously just again the major words as well say do your due diligence, because it is so important. And again, the lesson alone here by not streaming on Amazon S3 will save you, could potentially save you tens of thousands of dollars before you realize and you get burnt. I get burnt bad. People have been absolutely cremated in some ways in comparison to me, but it was a mistake that I made, and I mean, you don't realize how much people watch your content. You might not think that you're getting a lot of content watched, but believe me, when you start kind of getting these things coming in, it'll blow you away, and the charges are insane. So yeah, just be smart. Don't do anything too silly. And yeah, that's pretty much it, Tony.
As we said at the beginning of the episode, James, it's not a sexy subject.
It's not. It's not.
It's a very, very important subject, because video hosting is one of the foundations of any online business.
Exactly.
That's the fact. So you need to take it seriously. And trust me, if you don't, guys, and you don't choose the right, you don't do your research, you don't do your due diligence, you don't choose the right solution that fits your business, trust me, in the long run, you're going to pay in either money or time or both.
Absolutely.
So, you know, don't jump into the first platform that you think is the cheapest solution for you. Really do your research before you take the leap.
Yeah. Tony's done his research. I've done mine. And out of Tony's 3 tools that he uses, I use 2 of them, YouTube and Vimeo.
And that tells its own story, James, doesn't it?
I think so. You know, I mean, if you don't have the time to do the research, I would say these are probably the best options, you know.
All the ones we discussed in this episode are all the platforms that are pretty much in everybody's top 10 video hosting platforms if you look online, guys.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't have a top 10. I had a top 5.
One or two might change, but generally they're the same. And they're ones that myself and James, we use. Some of them, we're aware of them. We know other people that use them. And again, we can't do all this for you guys. We're giving you the foundations of the education on this topic for you. It's up to you now to go out there and find the right fit for your business. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Tony, it's been a good one. It's not been a long one, and I think everybody's probably benefited from this session. So guys, thank you so much for joining us on Those Two I Am, guys. We really appreciate you. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Share the content amongst your friends and family. We really would help you. We'd really appreciate you helping us grow the channel, because ultimately, without you guys, then there's no point.
Yeah, absolutely. Ditto to what James just said. I concur. Said it again.
Excellent. Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye for now, guys. Take care.